Copyrighted, Reginald.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Thinking Art Livecast. I am Andrew Glessner, joined always by Wesley Malott and producer Sam. We got a fun one for you tonight, guys. Got the Trick or Treat 2 live chat Q&A with the cast and crew. It's going to be fun. Let's go ahead and take a minute, let everybody introduce themselves. We can start with our cinematographer because he's the closest to me on the camera.
Hey, how's it going? Adam, DP, nice to meet you. Glad to be here.
Also, then we have our lovely, and holy shit, I forgot what her name was in the film because I'm a piece of shit.
It's Amber.
Amber, my sister's name.
Hi guys, I'm Danica. I played Amber in Trick or Treat 2. I'm really excited to be here tonight.
And we have everyone's favorite douchebag, Nick.
Woo! Hey everybody, I'm Andreas, and I play Nick, the douchebag.
And then Gary,
what?
I was gonna say Gary's joining us in spirit. So
and I'm Wes, the writer, director, and editor of Trick or Treat 1 and 2. I realized what that sound was, so I have my laptop here and I have my desktop here, and I'm looking at my laptop thinking it's my desktop, and my desktop has like 8 YouTube windows open that were like random because I was like setting up all the stream stuff, and it was playing like 8 simultaneous streams there, and it was driving me nuts. But I got it figured out.
awesome.
So how's everybody doing tonight?
Fantastic. That is
Good.
Yeah. So go ahead and drop your questions in the chat. If you have them for any of us, we will answer them as we go along. But to start off, I'll kind of ask everyone some questions here just to get the ball rolling. So this is our first time working with Danica and Andreas. I guess, like, what was the process of auditioning for the film for both of you?
Danica, you want to go first?
Yeah.
Pressure's on.
I mean, it was like any other audition. We had a round of self-tapes and yeah, just a round of self-tapes. That was pretty much it. Honestly, my favorite part of the audition was that you guys had us do, at least for Amber, like a 30-second clip of just like reacting to death and like hyperventilating and just like which I like totally get why you did that, because it's, you know, you have to be able to commit to that to be able to sell it. But I just I was in my apartment going like, was that good? Did I get this? So that was fun.
Yeah, it's such a pivotal
Good enough, I guess.
being able to like believably act scared and show fear, you know. So that's like one of the biggest things that I look for whenever looking at auditions. Andreas, so here's a little note about Andreas and his audition process before he chimes in. So we basically had the role cast, right? And then Andreas was the last person to submit an audition, and he just stole it.
I had to pull teeth from the submitted though.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, that's pretty much how it went down. There was somebody already lined up, but then there were complications, and so it was like, hey, you should audition. We're in a group chat, and I just kept getting berated with, audition. So I did, and I borrowed a Halloween mask. Obviously, the character's dressed up in a Halloween costume, so I had to improvise, and I
Not a
borrowed
toga.
Not a toga. Yeah, I had to borrow a Michael Myers Halloween mask, and so I did this whole little like kind of learning of the lines in less than a day, like 3 hours, and then did a self tape with my buddy who actually was on a phone call. I put him on speaker, and he read with me, and I filmed everything on my phone. And yeah, it was fun. The script was like really enjoyable. The dialogue was definitely fun. I had fun with the character. It was fun. It was good. So thanks for giving me the role.
Oh, you had a fucking blast with the character, which was
Yeah,
great.
for sure.
It made it so amazing, though.
Yeah.
I was like the one character that was not allowed to laugh at anything that he did. It was so hard. Because I was like fighting, just like trying not to, because it was just like really fun to watch him get into it.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was a blast working with
Fed off each other really well too.
Oh, that scene
Yeah.
where the two of you went back and forth. The shit
Oh my
you guys were
God.
just saying before they yelled cut the one time. It just got progressively more insane with both of you.
That was wild.
So, Adam was our cinematographer for the original Trick or Treat and also our short film Stalked. Adam, really quickly, can you just talk about a little bit about your process of trying to, I guess, when you read a script, what are you thinking about in terms of like lighting and stuff like that?
That's an issue I'm just kind of working on. I mean, I'm down with reading scripts, but when I read them, I'll get to a scene, and as I'm reading on to the next scene, I'm kind of already still thinking of the first scene, which is hard. I got to figure out how to read through it, not really think about any lighting first, and then go back. So my process now is trying to force through the whole script. If anything comes to mind, I'll jot it down real quick, but get to the end of the script, go back, and then read a scene and picture it and think about the emotion that, like Wes, like what you wanted from it, and then use that as like my baseline for each scene, and pretty much then talk with the gaffer and figure out what we're going to do. But trying to take it one step at a time is something I'm working on.
A couple of the comments here. I don't know why this one comment is like underneath my pen and I can't really read it. Are you making a third one? You guys should make a full movie out of it. A full feature would be ideal. So we are discussing our options, and we'll definitely keep you guys posted. Both are on the table. I will say that there was a development that Trick or Treat 2 was age restricted, which drastically reduces our audience reach, which is really unfortunate. And I'm not a big fan of the way YouTube has kind of handled that situation, but we'll talk more about that later.
Sure. And really quick, I just want to point out, if you're in the chat and your thought is, hey, you guys should make a feature, please give us money. Like a lot of money. And we will do that. That's what we need, is money.
There's literally a wall that we are hitting.
Yeah. And that wall is money.
How much money?
Oh, like $80, $90. Ought to do it.
$90.
90
Make a
bucks.
full feature on $90.
If everybody who watched Trick or Treat 2 gave us $90, we'd have enough to make the feature.
Let's go with Trick or Treat 1.
Even better. It's still it would still be a fuckload of money at
go
that
with the first
point.
Ooh, what would that? Oh my God, I don't even know the math on that.
$180 million, $200 million, something like that.
That was also another huge accomplishment. Is the first episode got 2.2 million views, huh?
It's
Yeah,
it's still going
pretty
crazy.
crazy.
Insane. Pretty,
Wild.
I remember whenever we had, I think it was like 3,000 views, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty awesome.
It was fun.
And now,
Yeah.
2.2 million views on number one, and part two just crossed 300,000 views. And I just realized whenever Matt, our co-producer, pointed it out, it's only been 3 weeks or something.
That was
like
what
that.
I was
think
going to
3
say
weeks.
too. I feel like we all
Not
got
even
a
a full
little,
month.
we got a little defeated when we heard the age restriction thing, but it's still trajectory wise huge for us.
Yeah.
That we're doing 100,000 a week. That's crazy. We'll take it. We appreciate it. We love all of you guys. So thank you for watching. Even if you don't like it and you comment that you don't like it, you are helping the algorithm feed views to us. So thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it all the time.
KT Fitz says, hi, really have enjoyed the films and the premise of a murderous trick-or-treater. How did the concept come about? So I had written a short slasher film back whenever Chloe Carroll of Fear Crypt and I first started collaborating. I guess that would have been like 2017 or 2018. And it was basically about a couple, having their first Halloween together. And in that version, it was basically trick or treat, but without the magician antics. And I was trying to think of a way to make it kind of unique and stand out rather than just be just a regular slasher. And I was started to think about like the words trick or treat. And that's how the whole, development of the magician came about. So if you don't have a treat, you get a trick from the magician, and the trick is him killing you.
Which could have went a vastly different way if we took the other meaning of trick and just went with prostitute. But equally as fun, I think. For me, anyway.
Captain Thresher says, where did the filming take place? So we shot in, what was it? Honeybrook, Pennsylvania and Colmar, Pennsylvania. They're actually two completely separate locations, about an hour away from each other. So the first location was the exterior of the house and the hallway. And then the second location was actually the garage party. The second location, we did that because the second location, the garage, one of our co-producers, Rob Kakanya, he owns that garage. So we felt a lot more comfortable with just like drenching that place in blood than just like, a complete stranger.
Worst cleanup job ever.
Yeah, it's still bloody in there. It's still bloody in
It's
that
still
garage.
bloody?
That was
Yeah.
the good thing about it is we're like, do you want us to get this? He's like,
Well, there's
The
still
eyes weren't
blood
showing.
in the attic from the 2 years ago. We used.
oh,
From Stalked, yeah.
the setup, the bedding setup we did
Everything.
is still set up.
Yeah, I loved seeing that. It
Wow.
was really nostalgic.
You guys filmed that?
We filmed
Yeah,
so
we
many
filmed
things.
parts. we
we just
filmed parts of
lit it
Stalked in that
differently.
same garage.
Trick or
I was like, I recognize that room. Have I been in that room? So I-
Well, that was a big concern, actually. Wes was like, this is going to look like Stalked. And I was like, no, we can light it completely different.
Oh yeah, so actually two of the rooms. So the attic from Stalked, but also the shed where Todd encounters the magician is actually the same exact shed where the characters of Steph and Kate enter and Stalked, and they find the like piece of lingerie.
That's right where the sickle's hanging initially.
Same exact location. We just
Mhm.
lit it differently and shot it differently.
There's been like 8 movies shot in Rob's garage. There's
Yeah, the really
Trick or
has.
Treat 2, Stalked. We filmed a pickup scene in Goodbye in there. They filmed Grade A in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
I feel like
It's-
there
it's
might be
busy.
one more that I'm just forgetting. Quite a few. Where was I?
Any other films
Gareth
you
Morgan
wanna
says,
shoot in the attic?
Maybe
Yeah.
Trick or Treat 3. Why not? Gareth Morgan says The Magician is a refreshing change for Halloween from the over-the-top gore of the Terrifier movies. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Fun fact, if you did not know this, Lauren Lavera from Terrifier 2 is one of our leads in our short film Stalked. So
Huge.
it's really, really cool watching her and all of her success from Terrifier 2.
Longtime homie of Thinking Art is Lauren. We love her to pieces, and watching her blow up has been insanely amazing.
Yeah, seeing her at Monster Mania with a long
So cool.
line.
I saw that movie and oh boy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
A lot of
extremely
gore.
gory. So if you don't like a lot of gore, you won't like it. J2 Thoughty, is that how you say that? Any possibility of a feature-length film for Trick or Treat in the future?
Yes,
It
again,
is-
money.
it's definitely on the table. I won't rule it out, but yes, the big thing is that if we do a feature film, we want to do it the correct way, and unfortunately, we would need money. I mean, I think our team is good enough that we can do it for, a reduced budget and not like a monstrous budget, but we still need funding for it. So
Yeah.
if the story comes to us where it feels right that a feature version is the correct way forward with the character, then I'm all for it. And if you guys want a feature version, let us know, because that really helps us in kind of determining our trajectory going forward, because we want to make stuff that you guys want to see. Gaffer and Grip, Hugh is in the house. He says they might make a third short film or feature film.
Is
And
Hugh just
I think
answering the
smiley face.
questions before we get to him? Is that what Hugh's doing? Just the most Hugh
Hugh's
thing
spilling our
possible?
secrets.
Just solving problems before we get to him?
I don't know what that means. BANPCE?
Bank book.
Aaron Smith says, how is everyone? Great work, by the way. Seen the film multiple times. Thank you. Glad you enjoyed it.
Thank
and
you.
glad you were interested in watching it multiple times.
Hey, that's my buddy.
Hey.
Oh
Is,
yeah.
is he just watching it because he gets to watch you die a lot?
What?
Yeah, I think
If he's seen it like several times, he's just like, just replays that part.
He just
So-
made a gif out of it.
We've been making so many like dumb gifs from Trick or Treat 2. It's amazing.
Yeah, my favorite one's
Like-
the teabag one.
Did you
Once I
say
saw
we
that
have
you
a
were
gift?
doing those, I was
Oh,
like,
that one. Yeah, I love that one.
Ridiculous.
And we have one of whenever Andreas is talking to Danica about the like the Trick or Treat police and everything, and he does that face. He's like,
That was one of those moments specifically that my character is just supposed to look like so deadpan, like pissed off, because her little like attempt at like joshing him just like did not land.
yeah.
And he was like improvising a fair amount and just like kept doing things that I didn't expect. And I was like, I'm gonna laugh and I'm gonna ruin it.
So actually, if you guys can expand on that, like how was the process of like improving for both of you? Is that something that Danica you have a lot of experience with?
I mean, I took like improv classes and stuff in college, but honestly, no. I was a lot of my like I've done a fair amount of horror, but like most of my background is in drama, and so getting onto a comedic horror piece was very exciting for me, but also incredibly nerve-wracking because I was like, oh my god, I'm not gonna be funny enough. And I was working with like other actors who seemed incredibly skilled in that genre, so I was it was humbling, but also really like wonderful to be able to work with them. And I think that like you guys made me better at that, because I was definitely really nervous about it. So thank you for giving me a lot to work with.
You did great with, especially that scene with you and Andreas, where you two are just bickering in the garage while the magician walks in, because none of that stuff is scripted. And I'm telling you, every single take was completely different, but fluid.
And it
Like,
also
there's just
Totally.
nothing wrong with it. It all just flows.
and it also was a good 3 minutes longer than anybody ever saw. Because you just kept. There were times when I would walk in and I would make it to the table where my cue was, and I would literally just start touching shit because I was just waiting because I could just hear you guys still going, and Andrea hadn't hit the cue. To like, what the fuck's he doing here yet? I'm like, huh?
And I had a lot of fun with that. It was also, I think, relatively close. Not like definitely not the last thing we did, but like in the latter half of the overnight.
Right.
Mhm.
So by then, I think I just had like sleepy brain, like unfiltered, just whatever
Yeah.
was going down.
Yeah, what time was that? That was probably like
Probably like 2 or 3 a.m., I'd
Yeah.
say. So we did shoot overnight. So, I mean, they're not fun, but, everybody did a great job with it.
They're fun until
Yeah,
they're
it
not.
was
yeah, until you hit that like 15th hour and it's like run
15th hour.
Oh, shit, we forgot this. Like
When you wake up and it's daylight, and then you go to bed and it's daylight again.
yeah.
The
Yeah.
next day is always brutal because you're just fried.
you're just thrown off. Well, I was just telling them before we got into this that this behind me here, this bed, this is my attic. This is where I do like my office or whatever. This is set up because of Trick or Treat too. Because I would come home and didn't want to wake anyone up, like
Mhm.
girlfriend sleeping. So I do this, pack the windows with like blankets. Yeah, it's pretty funny. So
I love that you pointed to this, and what you pointed to was blurred blackness. You're like, this is my bed.
here, let's see if this works.
I sleep in the
There's the
void.
bed. I sleep in this abyss.
I was hoping that Adam would just like sit here like this with his bed in like full reveal the entire time.
I was hoping just kind of coyly laid on the bed, just like, oh.
Doing the Jeff Goldblum pose.
Yeah,
Oh
that
my
was
God.
you sent me a video and I was like, are you in a silo? And I just saw a fan kind of
Dude, it was
running in
actually
the
the
back.
best. I would come here and it would just be so quiet. It was like a little cave, and then wake up and it was still dark. But I was like, oh, we gotta go back to set.
Mhm.
yeah.
Nice. I try to sleep on Wes's couch with his dog just running all over my person. Just no respect that I'm a human. Stepping
Does
on
not give a
every.
shit.
She will
Ridiculous.
step everywhere. Like, she's adorable, but she's also a little bit of an asshole. Like, it's.
Yeah.
I seriously, every morning I roll over from side to side and she just follows me and licks my face until I wake up.
I want a dog.
You know, she looks her butthole too.
Yeah. Hey, love, what can you say? Andreas, do you want to talk a little bit about your experience with improv and what it was like on the Trick or Treat set?
Not at all. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, of course. Yeah, it was so much fun. I think the best part was being able to, when you're working with a director who's just like completely open-minded, you're one of those directors. So when we were kind of going back and forth, and there were times where I'd actually seriously get feedback from you, and you'd be like, oh yeah, that's exactly what we're looking for. Or the scene where Nick has to take a shift into getting a little more serious with Amber and telling her that he's into her. You really kind of helped push me into that area with Nick, because Nick isn't just he is a full-blown douchebag, but he also has some layers. So he's really douchey, he's kind of funny at some points, and then he's really serious, he gets yelly and loud, and then he has his death moment. So the improvisation was easy because it was just fun being able to get into character and just spout different kind of lines. So that was a good experience. Loved it.
Free
We
sample
love
says
you.
Andrew.
Love you too.
What up, dude?
Andrew is in the house. He says, how many days did it take to film? So we shot the bulk of the movie over 2 nights, and then we had a third night, which was picking up some stuff that we some coverage that we weren't able to shoot on the second day, and then our like introduction shots to the magician where he's like coming up the stairs and everything.
The Django shot, baby.
And then after that, we did a 4th day for the ending scene. And here is a fun fact that probably nobody notices, but if you stick along to the credits, you will notice that there is somebody else credited as the magician. And so Andrew actually was not the magician for the final scene of the movie. And it was Eric Meloragni who played Travis in the first Trick or Treat.
Which was great because Eric sent me a video of him taking the masks off and just going, I don't want to. Andrew, this is all yours.
Oh yeah, he was like giving you props. He was
he's like, he hated it. I'm like, yeah, it's not fun. Like, and that's
so
everybody.
Andrew, do you want to talk about what it's like kind of being in that costume a little bit?
Yeah, let's discuss that for a second. It's fun. First of all, we finally found the best role for me, and it's one where you can't see my face and I don't talk that much. But yeah, I think so. If you guys don't realize, I wear a black full face balaclava that just blacks out my actual face, and then I wear that skull mask over top. What happens is that balaclava will rub on my nose, and then the skull mask sticks into it. So what's happening is the whole time I'm in full mask, my nose is being rubbed raw, and I can barely see. On top of that, anytime I have to do any sleight of hand stuff, I'm wearing the world's slickest gloves because we just bought little white gloves that have no grip at all. So that's always fun. Like I know when we were doing the card shit in the first one, it was so difficult to like just not drop all of them. I got fat and the vest the vest didn't fit quite like it used to. I lost a button that Adam actually has. Yep, right there. But yeah, other than that, it's awesome. Like I like it a lot. It's fun. He's a fun character. I just remember. Go ahead.
Oh no, what were you saying?
Oh, I was just gonna say this. Like I just remember before we shot the first one, we sat down and we were just kicking around ideas for character development. I just kept sending stuff back and forth to Wes and Matt, just trying to see what worked. And I sent him one of those skull masks. And like, I don't know if this is gonna work. I was like, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna order it. I'm gonna get all this stuff that I have a concept for. I'll put it together. We'll see if it works. So I ordered all this shit because I was like, worst case scenario, we just send it all back. It doesn't matter. So I ordered the skull mask, I ordered the vest, all this stuff. I put it up. I sat my camera and I just made a video quickly of just moving the face and the mask. And I sent it to them and they're like, you know what, that actually works. I'm like, yeah, it's awesome. So yeah,
that's how that dripped.
Yeah. So the drip.
So Andrew can answer this question.
Yeah, let's kill all these theories. People were like, it's blood, it's this, it's that. No, here's what it is. I'm wearing 2 masks and one of them is unbreathable plastic. So when I'm breathing heavy, because it's hard to breathe in there, you get some condensation. So if the night's particularly muggy and you breathe a little heavier into the mask, we've learned it makes drips of condensation that'll just drip off of the mask. And we've learned if we do it right, it looks pretty fucking cool.
The first one was
it happened to Eric too.
Yeah,
the first one was a mistake. Yeah,
total accident.
Happy accident.
And we kept it in because it looked badass. And then I realized, I think I was fucking around with it like on night 2 when I had the stuff on. I was just going like to see if it would do it, and you'd get a little drip sometimes. I'm like, there it is. We know how to make it now. But yeah, it's just condensation. Which is
real
perfect.
quick in the chat, greetings from India. I wanted to know why the magician spared Amber's life and killed the rest of the members from both parts 1 and 2. Will we ever come to know about his intentions? Andrew, Danica, you care to?
I think we should let Danica explain it because she did a good job in the movie explaining it.
Thank you. So his whole concept is it's very simple, trick or treat. If you give him candy, then he does not do a trick and he does not kill you. So she's the only character in the entire franchise so far that actually just like gives him a piece of candy when he says trick or treat. So he's spared her life.
It's that easy. It's really and I've loved watching all the weird theories in the comments.
I know.
But that's it. She gave him a piece of candy.
Yeah.
And that's
Beautifully simple.
a lot of people were confused too about the party. When they're like, why'd he kill everybody? You know, when he only asked Andrea. At the point when he asked Andrea was the talking head for the party.
Andreas.
Sorry, Nick.
Andrea.
We have another friend. We have another
Andreas.
friend, Andrea.
It's all good, you know. Andrea, Andreas,
Andres.
it's all the same.
Andrew. It's all the same thing. We have the same name. It's just different countries. You have the Greek pronunciation.
totally
I have the lame. Yeah, it's the same root name. Andrea. Andrew comes from Andrea.
Andreas,
Andre Dre, Dr. Dre. We're all the same person.
Andrea.
Andrea. Dre. Okay, it's
Gareth Morgan says it was funny. Trick or Treat 2 established a villain so odious that the supernatural killer magician could only be seen as the unquestionable protagonist. I think that is a kudos to you, Andreas, for
that is high
bringing
praise.
to life that character.
Oh, you did it so well, and that's
Well, you know what they say. Every great villain is protagonists in their own eyes, right? Like the
Oh, yeah.
Joker from Dark Knight. So you did a great job there.
KT Fitz asks, how much was scripted? Were the actors allowed to ad lib? Andreas and Danica, you kind of already talked about this with the improv, but I don't.
none of my lines were scripted.
Yeah.
There was like some. Nick's character had the most
God damn
amount
it,
of
Andrew.
improv just because he was, just spouting nonsense like half the time, and
Loud mouth.
some
yeah.
stuff would like just come to like me or Andreas, and we would talk about it and like, hey, what do you think if he said this? Like the actually in the script, he only mentions the Preggers line, I think, once, right?
I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
It's literally
And
just
then on set, we just kept coming up with scenes where it just made sense to just like keep saying the same
Push the
thing.
Prager's line. Push the
One
Prager's
of my
line.
favorite ones when you're holding the vodka bottle, you're like, how pregnant are you?
there's like congratulations to the baby.
To the baby.
The baby.
To the
And a
baby.
lot of people are speculating now that you're pregnant and, you know, the baby has something to do with episode 3.
Ooh.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. When I watched, I'm like, I kind of think she is. When I was on set,
could
I
be.
was like, oh, she's just annoyed. But when I was watching it as like a viewer, the lady doth protest.
I actually couldn't.
And then I read a comment. Somebody was like, oh, maybe it's the magician's baby and the candy was, you know, the impregnation you
Oh
symbolically.
my god.
The candy was code.
It's ridiculous.
They
Yeah.
go, little creepy little magician baby.
Comes out
Literally could
dressed
be.
just like me.
That'd be so horrifying.
Just turn it into a horror comedy. Straight
Mhm.
comedy.
Literally.
It's the immaculate conception of the magician.
Yeah.
Chucky movies, they have like Chucky, like the bride of Chucky, like gives birth or
The
something.
seed of Chucky. Yeah.
The seed.
Mhm.
So, anyways,
So there was
I gotta
one-
go to the hospital. My wife's in labor. No.
Edward says, wait, I'm losing
Edward
my
Cullen.
track.
Well, he's looking for that. I want to say, Andreas, one of the things you didn't get to see is the other people who auditioned for Nick. And
I did.
So
oh, you
many.
did you this? Okay.
I think I showed Andreas a couple of them to
Oh, okay.
show him what he beat out.
And
Yeah.
and there were a couple of them that were pretty good too, but like to watch,
Yeah.
like that's the whole part where he's like, "Oh fuck, dude, you were trick or treat," and like the whole like get my lantern. Just the way you handled it
Mhm.
was like, "Oh yeah, we don't want anybody but him." It would be stupid to pick anybody but him. And no offense to anybody who didn't actually get fucked. No, you. I'm kidding, guys. If you auditioned, we appreciate it very much. Thank you. But I'm hoping you watched this movie and understood why we went with Andreas, why we went with Danica. I got it because I sleep with one of the producers. That's the only reason. I have no discernible talent.
Everybody's meant for a certain role at a certain time in a certain place. You know what I mean?
Mhm. It's all a vibe check.
Not everybody can play a big douchebag like I do. Just comes naturally.
Oh. I will say, when I was reading that script, I was very interested in meeting the other actors because I'm like, these are lines that if they are delivered right by the right person, they're going to hit so well. And if they are not
Mhm.
delivered by the right person, it's not gonna hit in the same way. But they did such a great job. So I just really enjoyed working with you guys.
Yeah, you too. It was really fun. I was like, wait, the first time I met Danica on set was she comes out with like her costume and I'm holding my toga. And we're like, "Hi, I'm Danica. Hi, I'm Andreas. Nice to meet you." And she's got her costume. I'm like, "I guess I'm wearing a toga." And I remember you were choosing between like which shirt to wear.
Mhm.
And I actually read a comment. Somebody said that they liked the shirt that you wore for the movie. And I remember you guys were going back and forth on which shirt to wear.
That was like a big.
That was a
so,
day
like
of
that, or,
decision.
like, a gray one.
Yeah.
I remember I was like
Yeah.
running around trying to figure out lighting, and you're like, "Adam, what do you think about the shirt?" I was like, "That was good."
Orange.
We spent quite a lot of time trying to pick the shirt, but I think it was a good shirt. And we went with
Yeah.
the right one.
I think we're the right choice.
Yeah.
Andreas,
Well,
I,
It was like that worked very well.
Andreas, I remember watching the first time at the premiere and just thinking when you had your first couple lines, I'm like, it was just such a gut reaction. I was like, what a dick! Like you did a very good job.
Oh, thanks so much.
One of my
Yeah.
favorite things was watching the live premiere with like the almost like 400 people that watched it and
we had a
seeing
solid
the
turnout.
stuff that like I was writing in the script and just dumb laughing my head off at just how like the stupid stuff like coming out of my brain and putting down on paper was. And not only seeing that come to life with like the performances, but then seeing the audience's reactions, like, did he just call him Broseph? Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. It's just, I don't know. It was really awesome.
Yeah, you really sold that character. Like I did a live viewing in my backyard on a projector, and I had some friends over, and just hearing their live reactions was great. Like they were genuinely hating you.
And, you know, that's
poor
one of the
Danica
things.
character, like they just wanted you to die.
That's one of the things that I
I
really
wanted to
wanted to
die.
do with this short film was basically like create a character like right from the beginning that's just such a dick that you're just like rooting for
Mhm.
him to die the entire time, and to kind
Right.
of fill the audience with false expectations that it's going to happen, so it just prolongs that suspense.
Like they're waiting for it.
Mhm,
Yeah, it's like the
exactly.
hook. It's part of the hook. It's the reward at the end, you know?
And
Going
also
back-
playing
oh,
off
go
the
ahead.
magician, when Andrew would be like your body language, like we knew right when you were gonna, you knew you wanted him dead.
Oh,
like
the
looked
second
up.
he dropped his balls on my head, he was fucked.
Yeah, that moment, you looked up, you know.
I was just like, okay.
So that's actually a funny story. So Adam was actually the one that came up with that little gag, just as like a throwaway joke. Whenever he was doing his first read through of the script, he sends me back. He's like, "So he's gonna teabag the hat, right?"
You
And I
had to
was
dial
like,
it back a little bit.
yeah.
I wanted to go with like a
"Oh
full-
yeah, you went ridiculous."
you dialed it back a little bit.
Was that
Balls out,
another
dick in.
on the spot? That was an on the spot kind of thing, right? I think you were just holding the camera. You're like, teabag his hat.
No, I think it was like a day before or a little bit, but
Was it? Okay.
yeah.
I don't remember. But yeah, that was very interesting. A very interesting choice. Hey, I loved every minute of it. I hope the hat's okay.
That's just fun.
I hope that survived.
It's scarred.
Yeah, there's so many people that are like,
Good.
oh, my bad.
You're fine.
No, I wanted to add there's so many people that are like, you know, like Danica's the perfect like last girl, you know, to live at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I was reading the comments, she's like, oh, you know, it's so awesome to have her as like the surviving kind of heroine of the story. And then there's a lot of people who sympathize or empathize rather with Gary's character, with Todd. And they're like, oh, why do they have to kill Todd? You know, so it's a really nice kind of share.
Todd
of
could have left.
all dynamic characters, you know?
Mhm.
We had a moment on set where we realized, I forget if I don't think I was talking to Gary at this point because I think that he was wrapped for the night. I might have been talking to you, Andreas, or someone, where we realized that like by the end of the film, like she doesn't realize that he's dead. Like
Mhm.
in the last moments where she's like seeing all these people die around her and crying, like the moment of like finding the dead body of her fiance is like yet to happen, which is like such a like,
Right.
that was like such a bummer.
I never even thought of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
Like,
do you
Yeah.
find him or like
Trick or Treat 3 opens with that scene.
And she's just like, no,
that's a good little
But
topic.
I'm
I'm curious
pregnant!
about that.
I am crazy.
That would be perfect.
Baby.
Maybe she didn't tell anyone. Maybe she knew. She knew, but he didn't know. She like took a test the morning of.
Or you didn't know, and then we find out. This.
Mm-hmm. All I'm saying is she doesn't drink that night, and she makes a big deal about it. Yeah, no, but it was just like it was kind of sad to think about. I'm like, oh God, like she doesn't. She's gonna find out eventually, but yeah, at this point, she's just probably like, I hope he's okay.
Mhm.
He has the car keys, you have to find them.
That's true. That's very true.
Lost my track lost my. So Harry Warden says, I'm a big fan of this series, and a few of the questions have already been answered. One of the big questions I have is, will the magician get any backstory, like he has a reason that he kills? Harry, it's something that Andrew and I talk about pretty much like almost like every day.
Yeah.
So, you know, we have lots of discussions about this, and we have a lot of plans for, you know, wherever the future takes this character. We'll see.
Well, and that's kind of the thing. We've been very fortunate, like easy going so far, that he didn't have to have a backstory yet.
Mhm.
If we do anything more with it, that's not going to stay true. Like, I don't know that he
Right.
if we make like one feature, he might need one. It depends. We'll see. But yes, Wes and I, and at least just two for like reference purposes. Sometimes it's nice to know what your character's backstory is, even if it's a person who doesn't talk. So yeah, it's definitely been something we've kicked around a lot. We have some pretty cool ideas. It's just a matter of which one prevails. And that's the good thing about Wes and I, is we will beat our heads off of each other until we find the best idea. So we'll get it. He will, don't you worry. He's gonna, Wes and I will beat each other off until we get a good one. That's what'll happen.
Wait a minute. That didn't sound
Andrew
right.
asked,
Great.
with the repeated success of 2 Halloween-themed short films and Stalked, do you guys see yourselves doing more shorts for October in the years coming, like different stories that aren't Stalked or Trick or Treat? I don't know, to be honest. Just kind of taking things as they come. You know, I've been very open about my desire to not really direct shorts anymore. I'm really trying to push forward my feature career. And we were supposed to make Stalked the feature in September of last year, but when it became like 100% certain that we weren't going to have the funding in place to make that feature, that's when I kind of started thinking about, is there more to tell with the Trick or Treat story, and then Trick or Treat was 2 was born. So it's just kind of, if an idea comes to me and I think a short is the way to do it, then I'll do it. What are you saying, Andrew?
I was saying to lend some credit to that, both Trick or Treat and Stalked were ideas born of our short scare series that we do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, for the last couple of years, we've always put out at least one short horror film for Halloween because we really love Halloween. And
Stalked was originally supposed to be released in 2020 along with Goodbye. We had some issues with the visual effects that it was a lot of work in a very short amount of time, and they weren't going to be ready by the Halloween release. And whenever we decided to push that, we decided to look at film festivals. And then during the looking of the film festivals and everything, the search, that's when, Rob and I really started to put our heads together and come up with the concept to the feature film version. So,
which, another fun fact, the festival run of Stalked isn't finished.
Oh yeah, we have one last screening, which is next weekend at the Smog Castle Film Festival. It's Kevin Smith's Film Festival. Yep.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Wow, that's awesome.
So Wes and I are heading down. Yes, nominated for Best Original Score.
Oh.
Yep. Yeah, we're nominated.
That's awesome.
So Adrian was nominated.
Yeah, Adrian's nominated because Adrian's a beast. Of course he is. So
everybody give it up for Adrian.
Salute.
He's our music composer for pretty much all of our films. So
and he kills it every time.
Yeah.
So cool, man.
Ryan Lone Wolf says, my question is, have you guys thought about taking the storyline to the big screen? It's so brilliant. It seems like it would become a cult classic. We definitely have been talking about it, and it's just a matter of finding the right storyline that, makes sense for a 90-minute movie. And then if we do find that storyline, getting the budget together and finding the right amount of money that makes sense for that movie. Films aren't cheap.
As it turns out.
Have y'all considered OnlyFans?
Andrew?
Listen, if y'all are trying to pay for some risque shots of the magician, I will wear the mask. And for the right amount of money, I will do whatever you want. I have no shame.
That'd be a funny little side skit. Like, we're trying to raise funding, so we got Andrew.
I mean,
Zach,
you're already
you do
like
like
a button
some-
to the vest, man.
Is that just me in the skull mask and nipple tassels? Just
I think someone
You
made
just sound like psych.
like a TikTok thirst trap.
there's no way
yeah.
someone didn't.
Yeah.
No, I think I've seen that. I don't know who shared it, but they made I don't know, it was some account they made. I think they did it for Trick or Treat 1 too. They made some kind of video with epic music of mostly the magician, and then I went to the comments because I was like, I'm so curious what people are saying about this, and they're liking it. They're vibing.
Mhm.
Yeah, isn't that what you were sending us, Andreas? Like, these kids are doing this new thing. It's like a new trend.
Yeah.
It's kind of like stealing our stuff.
Yeah, it's the editing is what they were called. Are you telling me that I'm a TikTok thirst trap?
That's what it's called. Yeah.
It was only a matter of time.
I was gonna say, surprised it took this long, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, it's like funky font too. It's like weird. Yeah, it's weird font, and it shakes.
Well, no, I remember
Adam hates that.
when we
It's
were
vibrating like crazy.
we put out the post that it was going to premiere, and somebody in the chat was like, "Oh, I'm going to make an edit of this," and I literally just went ... Why? Because in my head, I'm like, "Well, no, you're just taking our content," but then I saw what they were doing. I'm like, "Oh, yeah, whatever. Let's do that."
Like
500K views.
ads, honestly.
Yeah, throw that shit on
Yeah.
TikTok. That's fine.
One of the TikTok videos has 500 to 50, 600K views.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's insane.
I don't have
A
TikTok.
lot
So
of impressions.
I'm the old man yelling at a cloud here. I was like, cool, these kids and their TikToks.
Yeah, but don't they?
One thing, go ahead, Adam.
Don't they credit it themselves though? They don't like tag.
Probably. Yeah, most people
They might-
don't
I don't check
appropriately
TikTok
credit.
ever, so
I know the
Well, you know what
only
they do?
thing Wes and I got really mad at when we shut down was there was a guy who just posted
like all of our short films. He stole all of our short films.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's fucked.
That's terrible.
it was great because
You
we
know,
were going through the comments and someone was like, how do you only have like 5K views in 2 weeks? It's like, how's it not monetized? And then somebody right above was like, because he stole this from Thinking Art. And I'm like, that dude's a hero because I don't even know who it was. So then Wes and I saw it, we got it reported.
Whoa.
Yeah, they screen record them and they put them in parts on TikTok.
Yeah, they do that.
I see a lot of that
Yeah.
too. And that, I mean,
Damn kids.
not going to fight that so much. It's like, and there was a guy who did a hilarious commentary and stock that I really enjoyed watching.
So that's actually been a lot of fun for me to watch.
People's
Is
commentary.
people doing like live reactions to the short films.
Mhm.
So like
Yeah,
both
pretty
Trick or
fun.
Treat 1 and Trick or Treat 2 have just random people doing live reactions as they watch the short. So
Wait, and
You
let's
yet?
I know.
Danica?
we'll go on record and say this too. If you guys want to do live react video stuff like that, totally fine. We're cool with it. Just do us a favor, drop a link to the video in the comments. Like if you guys enjoy it, help us get more viewers. That's fine. That's all we ask. And also, if you want us to make a feature, give us money.
or just share the ever loving shit out of it
That
to people
too.
who will
Oh,
give
yeah.
us money.
You can, there's so many easy ways to help us. And sometimes it just involves clicking that share button. Everybody says that all the time, but really it helps way more than you can ever possibly imagine.
And when
Katie
when
Fitz-
Trick or Treat 2 gets to 1 million views, Andrew will start an OnlyFans with the magician character.
All right. Wow.
Confirmed.
With the magician character. Okay.
Yes.
I like where this is headed.
Yes.
Katie Fitz asks, since Amber lived and is able to tell the tale, how does this change the possible direction for future films? Ooh,
Oh, I got ideas.
interesting.
I got ideas.
Um,
So curious to know this.
I got ideas. Just Danica, keep some availability is all I'm saying.
Oh, great. Fantastic.
she'll become the crazy Laurie Strode of
Oh, yeah.
the franchise. Franchise. I'm calling it a franchise.
the franchise.
The
Kills.
franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what we do next, but I know that's definitely something I've thought about a whole bunch.
I would
As I
love that, so
bring Nick back from the dead to be just like a ghastly douchebag.
like a douche.
I could have a change of
Asshole.
heart. Yeah.
We got a
She can
sex
heal my
bot
wounds.
spamming in the chat.
Oh, what'd she
Yeah.
say? What'd they say?
New
Yeah, we don't-
dating online.
There we go.
Did that work? I think that worked. I need to get
Nice.
like pay a moderator.
I got you.
Andreas. Having a discussion about the backstory in the chat. A lot of people seem to be pro no backstory, so that's interesting.
And here's the thing. I think the no backstory serves for a long amount of time.
Until it doesn't.
Yeah. And I don't know. I'm always back and forth on too, because I'm also always like, yeah, I'd be fine making 8 features and just never explaining what the fuck is happening.
Terrifier. No.
Yeah.
Still don't know what's going on after 2 movies.
Makes it kind of fun though, right? You don't know what its deal
Yeah.
is.
I like that. I like that you don't have to spoon feed everything to everybody.
Well, no, and that was actually one of the things that got me really frustrated in the comments for the short, whereas it's like there's a lot of awkward questions or a lot of like weird things that people found as inconsistencies. And I'm like, it's not, we just didn't hold your hand through it.
Yeah, it's like
Like, and that's
Yeah.
not to say if you guys thought anything was out of place, I'm not criticizing you, but I'm saying so there's a lot of stuff to where it's like, yeah, we just didn't explain it. It doesn't mean that it's
it's fun to leave it mysterious,
Yeah.
open ended. I don't know.
Really
Yeah, there's
quick,
different-
Izzy is in the chat.
Izzy!
our special effect makeup artist.
Yes.
She
What up,
did all of the
Izzy?
gore for the movie.
hell yeah, she did.
Is great.
And she had a cameo. She was
did
hanging
have
out,
a
not
cameo.
giving a fuck about where Todd was. That's what she was doing.
Oh, they got
Mhm.
they were so funny. They were be like the two kind of little college girls that where I was like, oh, he's got the glasses and suspenders, and they were just like, what?
Oh, does it? What? What?
I had so much fun with that scene because I mean the thing that killed me is who was it that I walked up to him and he just goes, I'm Todd.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Caught me off guard the
I'm
first
Todd.
time. So I was just like, okay.
The biggest
Yeah, he
bummer
was
to
meant be a fun
me
partner.
is if you guys watched Goodbye, I wore the sexy lumberjack costume. in
Yeah.
Goodbye. And as a cameo, I brought it with me, and there were points where we were filming the party scene when the magician wasn't in the shot that I was wearing that. And none of those shots made it to the final cut.
Oh dang!
Yeah.
I was
It's
gonna
like
go back
one of
and
those
watch
it. It happens.
things where
It happens.
it sometimes just like you want to make something work so hard, like showing Andrew's jorts, but it just didn't work for the cut. And we did plan on having this really cool Easter egg where the magician kills Andrew,
Oh,
like
That-
the
that would have been cool.
but we just kept running out of time to film it.
But honestly,
Speaking of
I,
like waiting for something, the reflection shot that we wanted so bad, and I forgot about it until Rob, the VFX artist, was laying on the ground, and he's like, "This reflection looks really good." And Wes and I just look at each other like,
and that turned out so fucking
it
amazing.
just came to us.
Oh, that was a cool shot. That was really neat.
Also,
With the
fun
blood
Easter
reflecting?
egg.
I can't take credit for that. It's definitely Rob's find.
Yeah. Well, I say, speaking of Rob, fun Easter egg with Rob. Rob was the pirate who gave me candy.
No
at
one
the end
caught
of
it.
Trick or treat.
No one has caught it.
And then he was the
Don't
guy.
spoil it.
You don't want me to?
No, I mean you can.
I say, and then he was the guy who I stabbed the shit out of and then threw against the wall, who had the wolf hat on. That was the same dude.
Not
I
a
read
single
one comment.
mention of that
Not
being
a
the same person.
single one.
No,
You saw one,
I read-
Andreas?
I read one comment. Where it
One.
was like one comment. One person picked it up, and they were like,
Mhm.
"So how does that work? If that's the guy at the end of the first one, and now he's in the second one, how did he survive? You know, or did
Uh-huh.
he die?"
He gave him candy though,
Well, yeah, I was going to
Gave him
say
candy.
but not
we
this
left
time.
we left it very ambiguous
Mhm.
to where you wonder if he died or not. But it's following the actual rules of the magician. Rob the pirate was totally safe. He didn't get killed. He gave me candy. He was fun.
Really quick in the chat, Tim Croy, the
There he is.
Todd.
I'm Todd.
He's in the
Yeah.
chat. What's up, Tim? Thanks
What's up,
for
brother?
coming out tonight.
Yo,
Shelly Star Walker says, thanks for the live stream. Been watching your movies and wanted to show some appreciation. Thank you. Keep on. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
joining us tonight. Really appreciate all your support throughout the years, and hopefully we keep making films that you all enjoy. Izzy says, you guys are great. I love having an acting credit on IMDb for being a pirate.
Izzy, we love you. So thank you very much.
I didn't even realize that like everybody got a name.
Well, I had a
I just thought it
costume.
was like party goers, party goer 1, party
yeah, I
goer
was
2.
shocked when I saw the credits. I was like, "Wow, you guys went all out on the names of everything."
We should really start
It was
giving
really good.
everybody give everybody a first, middle, and last name.
Throw Junior. in.
Somebody who walks by, oh, that was
Yeah.
Philip James Bartholomew II, oil tycoon.
Mhm.
He said, "Hey,
That title.
Could you imagine if we did that for an entire franchise of movies?
Can
How
we-
just burnt out we would be trying to be creative with names.
it's not like it's the first time we made up a fucking name for the credits."
No, but like every single like extra and every single character,
Listen,
3 names at that.
if you don't want to do it,
I'm a-
I'll do it just because I'll make
I'm
me
a name
laugh.
generator.
Yeah.
If you need a
Boom,
name
boom, boom.
generator,
They're
Easy, I
name
got you.
generators.
no, I am. I'm the name generator.
You're a name
I can come
generator?
up with a
Okay.
name. Easy.
So
Doris
if
Francis Smith.
Adam were to
Boom.
play a character in the next Trick or Treat, what's his name?
Antonio Lewis Gates.
Patty Deltworth.
That's a good one.
Stephen Tremblay.
Should just go the Streets of
Even
Rage
Tremble.
route with naming people.
Axel.
X signal, Y signal.
Gilgamesh Smith.
There we go.
Is that a name?
That's
Gilgamesh?
it's a biblical name.
It is now.
Full name.
If you name somebody something, it's a name. Look at fucking Elon Musk, kid.
Oh, wasn't it like XEYZ23 or
It's like
something?
sure.
Yeah.
Is my question. Like, I can see it and spell it, but I'm not gonna try to say it.
He explained it on Rogan, and I forget what it was because it was very weird. Still, it didn't make any sense. Still,
Didn't you have to change it?
Xenomorph.
Didn't you have to change the name?
I hope. What a weird thing to do to a child. That's like worse than a boy named Sue. You know what I mean? Like he's gonna get beat up for being a nerd for sure. That's
Oh yeah.
XAEA12.
So really quick, let's kind of talk about your favorite scenes from the movie to film, and we'll start with you, Adam,
Wait, say that one more time.
being
I
the
was
being the
not-
DP, being the cinematographer of the movie. What was your favorite scene of the movie to shoot?
Probably the shed, because
Yeah.
that was like the first time in a while that I like committed to using tube lights as like key lights and practicals in the scene and really push the sensor of the camera and just kind of
Mm-hmm.
just commit to it, and it ended up working out really nice.
And for anybody that isn't familiar, like the tube lights are actually just like filmmaking lights, and we just like hung those up in the shed to act as like, you know, like fluorescent lights that would be in a shed or
And
a
which
garage
actually
or
made me feel more comfortable about using it as party lights too. And then I came to this weird
Mhm.
conclusion of, yeah, they're not like the highest end ones that look the most believable, but if you really think about it, if I was to throw a Halloween party and I had lights and I'd put them up in my space and they would be cinematography lights. So it's like, why can't you kind of get away with having them in there?
right.
yeah, absolutely.
Weird.
I
Well,
mean,
it's
you
not like-
see it all the time in Hollywood movies. Like I was watching Halloween over Halloween, the new one, the
What was it?
2018 one.
What was that about?
And I think that's this guy named Mike
Halloween?
Mike Mirrors, I think his name is.
Soon
Mike
as it would be
Mirrors, have you ever heard of him?
Mayors. Mike Mayors.
Mayors. Thank you for correcting me. There's this scene where Michael is like walking through a garage and you just see tube lights in the garage. And I'm like,
I noticed that
Hollywood
too.
does it all the time.
Yeah, I noticed that as well.
But like the
So I
average
was-
viewer is gonna like,
Yeah, the
think-
average viewer won't think anything about it, but you know that there's like those filmmakers like, oh, they're putting the fucking nan lights in the scene.
we're our own worst critics. That's where I'm just like, I'm like, fuck it.
Yeah,
Like, I just want to
You
have
put a
fun.
nan light in the right spot though. It just looks like a fucking tube light. It's not.
Yeah.
And I like that meme
Yeah.
of Leonardo DiCaprio going like, "Oh,
Yeah.
oh," like I
What's that?
There he is.
Yeah, it's like there's just too many rules that people follow. It's like just throw the rule book away
Mhm.
and just do what feels right. And there's like a lot of that I'm trying to get into. But yeah, that scene was definitely my favorite.
Yeah.
Andrew, what was your favorite scene to film from Trick or Treat 2?
Turning into the bunny was probably my favorite.
Which we really did that. We really turned you into a bunny.
Really transferred. I'm a good magician. You guys were like, that's bad CGI. It was me. And I did that for real. No. Damn, I'm trying to think.
Who's your inspiration?
Roger Rabbit. Trying to think. I really liked the porch scene. It was really fun.
Which porch scene though? Because there's multiple.
So as I said that, I liked my Django moment because I loved how excited Adam got about doing it. And he was like, dude, we gotta do this, it's gonna look awesome. And then we do it. I was like, yeah, it looks awesome. So my reveal where I straighten the tie, get upstairs, that's cool. The first interaction with Andreas was just awesome. It was just so fun to do. But I mean, bar none, when I got to go ham, that was I mean, this is the
Yeah.
most absolute fun. It was so cool. But then I really like at the end too, though, where like Danica's freaking out, and I just reach down and I just give her a piece of candy and I walk away. Like I love shooting the whole thing, man. Like it was all fun. It's always fun for me. I love the character. I love everything about it. It's just, even though it's not always the most fun in the moment, the
Right.
turnout is always great. So it's always, all of it. Because I'm a cheap bitch. I'm not going to make a good answer.
Andreas?
Yeah, so totally like the ending. So right there in that garage, definitely my favorite. And there's a couple reasons why. So I loved with the whole Danica and I scene that we were working together. That was awesome. And then we would like share glances with each other, because it was like 4 or 5 or 6 in the morning. We were like, still kind of keeping up that positive attitude.
Right.
And then Adam's kind of whooshing the camera around and doing his thing, and everybody's working around, and Wes, you're just kind of looking at your tools. And I don't think you had B cam out at that point, but when everybody dies, that was one of the coolest moments I've ever been on a film set. And because I think there was one breakout moment where you guys were like, okay, how does everybody want to die? And you were planning everybody's deaths, and it was like kids when they were young making a film in their backyard, asking each other, how do we want to do this? And oh, it'd be so cool if you did this. Yeah, that's great. And everybody had like their input. And like, Andrew, with your movements, like you're so good with those movements. And I just remember when
Literally all I've got.
yeah. Dude,
Like Matt volunteered to get thrown on that table.
I
and
lost
Rob
my
just
shit
So cool.
when
Yeah.
Rob got thrown to the wall.
Yeah,
I did
Rob
not
getting
see
thrown
that
into
was
the
that.
wall was really
I did
awesome.
not know that was going to happen.
I'll say this, and it's like a long-running history in our movies. When it comes time to die, it seems like everybody wants to cowboy up and go as hard as they can in their deaths. Because like Rob did it, Matt did it, Mike has done it in previous things. I've done it in previous things where it's like,
I mean,
dying, let's
Killer
go.
Be Killed. In Killer Be Killed, Mike literally drowns you, and we filmed a drowning scene.
And I literally just had to go, look, whatever happens, just keep rolling, let me go, and I'll do it myself. And it's just trying to hold my eyes open in frigid water and not breathe and just look dead for like a good 30 seconds so the camera got it enough was a nightmare, but it turned out so amazing.
Fun fact, we're actually talking with Andrew's ghost right now.
Ooh.
And Andreas, I didn't mean to hijack that from you. I'm sorry, buddy.
Oh no, you're good.
Yeah, way to go, Andrew.
I'm a piece of shit. I'm Nick in real life.
Jerk. You're a jerk.
Andrew is the inspiration for
What you
Nick.
guys really don't know yet, Wes just wrote things I've said out loud before. That's
Are you preggers?
Who are your burgers?
Had to get me lantern jacked. That was the
Oh god.
so fun.
Oh wow.
Pirate boys. You were like,
It'd be lantern jack. You know?
What a line. What a
That
line.
was
I
one of my
remember the
favorite lines in the
original
whole movie.
See, there's something that
The
was like,
original line.
it was an original line, but you improv'd that voice, correct?
mhm.
Like Wes, you didn't want him to do. That's something
remember.
that he did,
Yeah,
correct?
there wasn't like a note in the script that said "be a pirate" while you say this.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, like
I mean,
little
there
things like that.
was
Shiver your
small
timbers a
stuff
bit.
like where
Shiver me
Nick
timbers.
would switch back between like his like I forget what exactly it was called in the script. I think it was called like a playful voice or something like that. Just like the douchebag Nick versus like the serious like I'm trying to hit on Todd's fiance. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, the funniest bit was when I did the audition, I read the script, the original line was like batter dip the old corn dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
remember
read
that.
it, I was like, this is kind of clunky and awkward, and then you said you wanted to change it anyways.
Yeah, and that was because like every single audition for some reason just struggled with it. And whenever you see like it's like a common theme that everyone's struggling with something, it's probably not their fault. It's probably your fault, So that's whenever like Matt, our co-producer, and I just like started to like put our heads together about like what kind, what are some like other dumb things that he could kind of say here. And I think Matt was the one that suggested that line.
What a wild line.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, Danica, what about your favorite scene?
I think that mine, it's like a close tie between the first scene and the last scene, because the first scene with like the trick or treat motherfucker, stop motherfucker, was just like
so stupid.
Like, I don't observe, and like the dynamic that Andreas and Gary set up between these two characters was so fun to watch, especially because like the characters are really douchey, but even they have this like bromance that shows that like he's kind of a dick, but like they care about each other, and I think that was a really fun start. And then of course I loved all like the horror elements at the end. That's like my favorite kind of thing to do. So when you're like, all right, so you're gonna fall onto this crash mat and then just like shimmy yourself through the blood that just came out of Nick's neck. It was like, it was just like kind of gross, but also it was at the end of the night, and that's just like it's one of those like really like adrenaline rush kind of energizing scenes. So I was like having a lot of fun just kind of like rolling in the dirt at that point.
Well, and for that to be the last thing you had to do where you screamed and freaked out there, like you kind of had to have that cry going. You nailed it. Like it was amazing.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you so much. It's almost like a big like release, which is kind of nice. Like any like pent up stress that you have from just being tired, it's just like getting it all out. So it was
Oh, I get it. You guys can't see, but really I'm just crying under the mask the entire time. And it feels so good.
Plus it is
really,
it is scary in real life to have that like the skull mask, just like I know the scene where I turn around and I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. It's just like that is genuinely how I would react if I turned around and there's just some like dude in a suit, a cape, and a skull, like that mask.
Yeah.
I would like, I didn't
totally
like
normal.
push it, but I didn't have to like pretend that was frightening, because it's definitely like threatening.
Oh yeah.
That was a good jump scare. So I read a comment. They were like, "It scared the shit out of me," and they were like, "Oh, a lot of jump scares with this masked dude coming up behind people." I have a question though. Is this masked killer a spiritual entity or demon, or is it a person?
I've been wondering that too.
So you're asking the $64 million question, my guy.
Andrew and I have answers, but we don't want to spoil them.
So
Andrew just doing that hand motion was exactly the character right there.
Real quick, I just want to say thank you for Aram for volunteering to be the mod and banning some of these sex bots that are in the chat. I don't know what's going on. He also says shout out to the DP and love the color grading. Sound design was on point as well. Good job, team. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you, Aaron. We're glad you liked it.
Also, thank you for moderating. I was kind of hoping to see what some of these sex bots were saying later. So,
like, I don't know what's going on. It's pretty insane.
It happens. We finally made it. Sex bots
you make it if you get sex bots.
On the live stream, absolutely.
What was the hardest scene for all of you to film?
Ooh, like hard as in like the most challenging, or hard as in
most challenging.
Oh, okay.
Danica, you can start.
I know the one that I was the most nervous about was the scene right after Nick comes in with the egg. When he comes into the garage, because that especially was, it wasn't the most dialogue heavy scene that I had filmed yet. It at least was for that day. I think it was one of the earlier ones. And again, I was saying I was just like a little nervous about like matching the level of like goofiness and like improv skills that the guys had. So I think for me that was the one that I was the most like antsy about. But yeah, they were just great team partners to work with, so I had a lot to bounce off of, thankfully.
Andrew?
I'm trying to think.
For me, I want to say the hardest one was probably Todd's death.
Mm.
Okay.
And it's just because he was the only one on screen. It was the only one that mattered in that moment. So getting everything absolutely right, it took the most time. And now, from a technical standpoint, that was the hardest one. It really, in comparison to what you guys were doing, my weekend was fucking easy. But
yeah, what did you say you were doing in between takes?
oh, it's because we were talking about why I look so fat, because everybody pointed out how fat I looked, which, by the way, thank you, the internet, for telling me that I look fat. What I would do is just hang out and wait when I'm not on scene. And I was right beside craft services most times. So I just kept snacking.
Okay.
And I think what happened is I just got really bloated. But yeah, from a technical standpoint, as a Todd scene, physicality wise, by the time we got to the end of day 3 and we were doing those kind of circular shots where I was just swinging the knife, like, and just doing different stuff where you were using it as the montage, that was pretty exhausting at that point, just because I was already exhausted. But whatever.
We talked about how scary that was when we were doing those pickups, and we were both kind of just like,
oh yeah, we were
realized that it was a live butterfly knife flying like this.
It's not a live knife.
But it's also not a knife that would feel great if it hits you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes, knives are not alive. We know this, Wes.
It was a dull
can't
blade.
really cut you. It would just hurt if you're
okay.
actually hit by it.
It hurt really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like a knife, like a cutting knife. I think, what is it called? Like a trainer?
Yeah. And so it's the
okay.
entire
Yeah.
actual tip is rubber.
Then that's my misunderstanding. It was
Yeah,
like 4 in the morning, and it was
if
like
you
flying
really
by my
just like
stomach, and I was
stab
like, oh,
somebody
shit.
with it, it probably
I mean,
stabbed
health
you.
insurance.
If I jabbed it, it would probably break skin for sure.
Yeah.
Just like a pencil.
Yeah.
Andreas?
Became
Oh.
sharpened. Yeah, no, the ending, definitely being covered in blood. That
Yeah.
was tough. Yeah. I remember laying on the ground and I was coated in blood in my toga, just laying on the cold concrete floor.
Probably thinking, why did I agree to this?
No, I was sleeping on a sandbag. So it was just kind of relaxing, but it was really discomforting. And then I hit the shower afterwards and got all this red blood off of me. And I'm like, how does this dude just let everybody use his shower? And then Wes tragically stepped on my finger and like
Oh,
broke my finger. I remember that.
don't
happened.
remind me. Don't remind me.
But that was just like not even tough. Like the whole thing was just so much fun and easy. It was so easy. But just the last part, it was just, different. So it was fun though.
Adam, what was the most challenging scene for you?
There's a lot of them, but definitely the outside one, because I wasn't not the front as much as the backyard.
The backyard.
Yeah, like where Danica
Where
walks
this
out to
is
get
the patio, well, where the cooler is and everything like that.
all those scenes. There was just something about, because we didn't get to scout that location, so it was like kind of like throw up a light. Let's go with like something. And I just wasn't too happy with the way it was looking. We ended up making it work, but that was definitely the most challenging, kind of like trying to problem solve a light setup that I kind of just came up with right there. And then I was realizing we had to look different multiple ways. And then we ended up like kind of like dubbing where that background was at that one point. So it was like, we figured it out and it was fun, but I learned a lot from that.
Yeah, it's kind of fun, like knowing all of like the weird sheets and stuff, which will probably dive into more in the making of video, which will be coming out in December. What's that?
Nice. Can't wait.
I realized you were gonna do a making of. That's so exciting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just I've been so busy, I haven't had the time to work on it. So hopefully, once
Well,
I
that's-
wrap up this TV show, I can really dive into it.
One of the things I want to say too is one of my favorite things about hitting the devil's hours of the morning when we're filming, like the 5, 6, 7, is how fun the change in the conversation with the director and DP goes. Especially when it
Yeah.
comes to lighting. Because a lot of we just get to that point to where it's just like, all right, let's get it, we gotta do it. And then I'm just like, cool, if you want to look like shit, absolutely, let's do it right now. If you want to look good, give me 15 minutes to relight it. But yeah, it's your call.
Yeah, it becomes that
It's-
point where I just have to like accept it, and I'm just like, fuck.
It's a constant battle of time, as any filmmaker will tell you, and
And I
it's
just-
just
Yeah.
like
But like sitting there and watching both of you plead your case because you're both right. And
And
that's
I don't
that's
think-
the problem. You're both right.
we have our infamous arguments every production. Then we instantly make it up.
yeah.
I remember hearing a very specific conversation, I think between Adam and someone else about like haze. And I think Adam won
Yeah.
this one. I specifically remember you saying something like, so we don't have to use the haze, but I think we will really regret if we don't. And then we
Mhm.
did, right? So
Oh yeah, we caught that soon.
A lot of
It was
haze.
taking. It was going to take like 10 minutes to warm up, but I was like, I have to bring this up, and
It has to be there. Yeah.
I think everyone hated me for it, but it definitely helped. It's like those moments suck when it's like you're like that voice in your head's like you have to say something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite shots too that it ends up turning out as I walk into the party. We just so happen because we can't time it with the actual smoke machine. It just goes off when it does. That it went off and he's got this huge plume of smoke as I roll in. Because there you could hear it on the actual.
I
uncut version.
wanted that.
Yeah, it's like
No, but it was awesome. Like, it worked
I wanted
so
that 'cause I
well.
wanted you to be bringing the smoke in because I was
Yeah.
like, I need to justify this. This can't just be haze. I was like, he's a magician. He brings it in. But this is also the last production that I'm using a fog machine for. I'm sick of those things.
Oh,
You
there's
wanna-
no-
You know,
Yeah.
we need a real hazer.
Oh, we bought a goddamn fog machine.
I'm just
from
getting sick of
Spirit
Spirit.
Halloween.
Think of like wafting it and like putting it through a fan.
Yeah.
It's
It's
like
Yeah.
different.
not good.
Is it a different liquid that they use? Like
It's a whole
for the
different vibe.
haze?
Yeah, it's a different
The whole
liquid.
thing. What's
Yeah.
huge little thing he had
That worked.
Was
out.
the
With
smoky-
amazing.
a little fan on
That
it.
was
That's pretty
perfect.
cool. It's just a vape.
Yeah.
Like whoever made that, it's $1 million idea. It's just a vape that you can't smoke.
Fade with a fan. It's
Yeah. But yeah, good times.
really quick
Wafting
in the
can take
chat,
up a lot of time.
Gareth Morgan says humans do not become rabbit. That answers its own questions.
Oh, Gareth.
Last
he's-
time-
Andrew
not
asked,
he's paying
was
attention.
Andrew asked, was pizza served as a meal at any point? And I will say yes, and I was not happy about it.
Yeah, fried rice.
And I blame
Oh, that was amazing.
Mr. If he's
Chicken burgers.
watching, I blame Mr. Michael Mowen because he specifically requested pizza to the guy in charge of Crafty, and he listened to him.
It's just
And I will fight you, Mike.
hell yeah.
What was it? Pizza
Hell
Hut?
yeah. No,
It was
Domino's.
the second day, Domino's, I think.
Domino's.
Domino's.
I could do
Same
pizza all
stuff.
day, every day.
It's just so easy on set, though. I get
Yeah.
why you hate it, but man, if it's not the easiest fucking meal.
mhm.
I do want to work on eating too much carbs though, because it's like I would love to like start eating
Yeah.
healthier, but then
It's tough on film
yeah.
sets.
it is because it's just like, oh, greasy food looks so good. Like, can't not do it.
I want
So,
that mac and cheese.
Yep. Really quick, everybody. If you have any final questions for any of the cast and crew for Trick or Treat 2, we're going to try to wrap this up in the next 10 minutes. So if you have any final questions, get them in now so we can answer them. Danica, Andreas, Adam, and Andrew, do you guys have any kind of last thoughts or questions for each other about the process of making this movie?
Hmm.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
All you.
No, you take it first.
No, I
It's
was
fine.
just gonna say it was an awesome time making this. I've seen all of the horror films on Thinking Art Entertainment's channel, and I was like, when I was told to audition for this, I was like, this is going to be awesome. I hope I get it. I was a little nervous. And then when I actually got it, I was like thrilled. This is going to be the first horror film that I'm going to act in. Had so much fun working with Danica, Gary, Andrew, you know, and seeing Adam again and the whole crew and Michael and Wes and everybody else that I met. So thanks for the opportunity. It was a lot of fun. I legitimately had this was one of the best sets I've ever worked on. So thank you.
Love hearing that.
No, I can
Great
say
having
Yeah,
you.
man.
Yeah, it was I remember I submitted for this on like Actors Access, which if you guys watching don't know, it's like a website that basically actors can use to submit themselves for roles and auditions and things. And I was like, oh, interesting concept. And then I got the audition and I looked you guys up and I saw Trick or Treat 1 and I was like, damn, if I don't get this, I'm gonna be sad. And I like told like my boyfriend, my friends, I'm like, I really want this. And if I don't get it, you're gonna have to like comfort me because I'm gonna be sad. So I was so thrilled to get the opportunity and I had such an amazing time working with everyone. Andreas, you absolutely killed it. And we're so great
Thanks.
to work with. Andrew, you were so fantastic to work with as well. Gary, if you see this, again, amazing scene partner. Wes, fantastic director. Adam, you made everything look awesome and creepy and cool. And also, if I don't ask you this question, my boyfriend's gonna get mad at me. What lights? He's literally over there going like, check your phone. What lights did you use to light the night exteriors?
Night exteriors. We went with
The fucking sun. That's what
we
Hugh
got the
has.
sun in.
Hugh owns a portable sun.
The moon. We just boosted the ISO. No, we went with a 600D or a 1200D at sometimes, and we just put it
I
up.
think there were two 600Ds, right? And then a 1200D.
Well, yeah, we did a 1200 on a combo, like really high up, just kind of bare bulb with like a little bit of diffusion in front of it, and I think a 1/4 CTB just to like cool it down just a little bit, and then I think we would bring a lantern. It was either like a 300 in with a lantern just as like a fill light. Hey.
He's very great.
Yeah, so that was pretty much it. We kept it really simple. Kind of wanted to go with like silvery moonlight, which ended up turning into like it's just a light from another house. Like that's why I wasn't that happy with it because I was like, I don't really even know what this is, but it's working. So
Yeah.
hopefully it works.
Just thank you, Wes. Thank you so much for bringing me on. It was such
I'm glad you were a part of it.
Thank you. I'm very impressed by how you guys are able to stretch a budget because this was like
It's a challenge.
such a well-run set, and the fact that like the majority of this film was like it was like 17 pages long and shot in 2 days, and I feel like that's like
Yeah.
unheard of.
Yeah.
That was very
Honestly, if it wasn't for being super confident in the team that I surround myself with, I would never attempt to pull off like such big projects in such a short amount of time. But because like Adam and I can, communicate well together, like Hugh and I, the gaffer, can communicate well together, like the AD, Matt, and like the actors, I just feel like our team just really gels. That way we can minimize confusion, and confusion takes up a lot of time on film sets. So it's really nice to have people that you work well with all the time. And we wouldn't be able to make these shorts in the time period we do if it wasn't for just having such a fucking great team.
Now he's
Yeah, I'm starting to be able to read your body language on stuff now too.
Yeah, right.
Like when you're like deep thought, and I'm like looking, I'm like, do you like this light? I can just tell. Like you could still think about whatever you're thinking about. Like, all right, now, all right, here, let's change it.
Real quick in the chat, CFH Studios says, will there be a behind the scenes video coming soon? Yes, there will be. I'm hoping for probably like the second week of December it'll be out. Completely dependent on my schedule, but I'm hoping that that's when it'll be out. Andrew asks, to the cast, and I'm going to open it up to Adam too. What's your favorite thing about Wes's directing?
Great question.
You can go
Probably
first.
Boy, everyone's jumping at the bit, huh?
Everybody hates working with me.
Yeah, it's actually really terrible.
I know.
I have
It's-
to say, like the way you collaborate and how clear your like vision is, delivering your vision to me is very clear, and how open you are to doing things that I want to try. And you're not very like, no, this is how it is, or like this is what it must be, unless it's like a solid rule. Like, you know how I combat you with like
Right.
breaking some lines at sometimes, or like framing, and like we always come to a happy medium, and
Yeah.
that's pretty rare with other directors. That's what I'm happy with.
Mhm. Yeah, you were very, I mean, first off, very kind on set, which I think is which is like rarer than it should be, but unfortunately it is. I remember there was a moment, I think, during like the hyperventilation, like Dolly scene where I like kept getting lightheaded after because I was good just doing like the like over and over
Yeah.
again. And just every time we cut, you'd be like, "Are you good? Like, do you need to like sit for a second?" And it was just so late into shooting. So the fact that like you like checked on me was I really appreciated that. So just generally like a very kind director to work with, but also, you know, really flexible and open to bouncing ideas off of each other. And I think that that's also like, I really appreciated that.
Thank you.
Just as a nothing who was on the set a few times, I had no actual position on the set, and Wes would really pay attention to what anyone else was saying on the set. I had an idea for a few scenes, and it would go to one person, then go to him, and he took everything in stride, and it was absolutely amazing.
Thanks, Sam.
Yeah, from like an
Andreas?
actor standpoint. Wait,
This is
hold
weird
on
for
a
me.
minute. No, from an actor standpoint, I think you're really receptive to feedback, or not feedback for you, but you give great feedback to your actors, and it's easy to kind of receive that from you because you know when to step in and you know when to draw back. And you're not like forcefully trying to get something out, but when you need something done a certain way, you're really good at communicating that idea. And then between like, just from like a filmmaker standpoint, between you and Adam, I think you guys have this relationship that's really special between DP and director that not a lot of people have. And seeing you guys work together for the first time on a set is great, because you kind of both know what you both really want. And it kind of moves things along very nicely. And having that kind of dynamic with your actors, with your producers, with your DP, and is definitely something good. So yeah, great job all around. I was really happy to be working with you this time around again. So
Thank you, everyone.
That's always such a loaded question for me to get, just because I've known you for, if I check my phone here, a quarter of a century at this point, Wesley. We've been friends.
Insane.
That's fucking stupid. At this point, we share a brain. You know what I mean? Like it's, it's what's my favorite part of working with you? Working with you is my favorite part. You've been my best friend for 2.5 decades. There's nobody I want to make movies with more than you. That's why I don't make movies with anybody but you. It's a labor of love every time, because I'm doing it with my best friend. And then the cool thing about, working with Andreas and Danica is it's always kind of nerve-wracking at first, because, we always have those tense first moments where, like, we've had that first time with Adam, but Adam is now part of the family. Sam's not part of the family. To work with people, you never know how they're going to vibe. You never know how you're going to feel with them, but it's always cool when it works great. And it's like, you guys were fantastic. Like Andreas and Dana, you guys fit right in. The reason it was easy is because you made it easy.
Thanks.
Like, you guys did that too, and you were phenomenal. Don't put it on them. It was all of us, but no, this was all around us an amazing shoot. It was great, and it's just awesome. It was an awesome final product.
Yeah, it's nice when you can be serious. Like, there's been film sets that I've been a part of that are like serious all the time, and you try to have fun and people are like, and then they're like, ugh.
Yeah.
and it's like so dumb. And it's like, okay, well, nobody has a uplifting spirit. Everybody, and it kind of, I feel like it's a trickle down thing from the director and producers and stuff like that, and kind of trickled down a little bit. So if they don't have like the high spirits, then it's, then all the crew are going to be miserable and nobody's going to have fun. And so it's nice to work with people that you work with a lot, so that way you can keep having fun and be serious, but also know how to joke around and have a good time on a set. That's what filmmaking is all about.
It's important. You don't
Energy
want to
is super important.
Don't want them to become tools, the cameras and everything.
Yeah.
Last question here, and we are going to wrap this up. Aram asked what millimeter lenses were mainly used to shoot, and were they anamorphic? Adam, if you want to just comment really quickly about the lenses.
Yeah, we just originally did want to go anamorphic, but budget and other reasons, we went with Lomo super speeds and had a full set. It was like a 18 we used for one shot, a 25, 35, 50, and an 85. And there's my one buddy in Philadelphia, Joe Grasso, hooked us up with the deal on them, and they're these old Russian glass beasts. Yeah, they're great.
Joe.
They have a cool
really
look.
nice.
Hell yeah, Grasso.
Joe.
Really nice lenses. And with that, we are going to wrap this up. So I just want to thank Danica, Andreas, Andrew, Adam, Sam, as well, always the guy behind the scenes that's making
The
this
man behind the curtain.
happen for everybody. Thank you all for joining us and chatting with us. I hope you all had fun. I'm super thankful to share this journey with you all. You are all amazing. Thank you to everyone that tuned in to watch Trick or Treat 1 or 2. Your support means the world to me, and I'm Andrew as well, and I'm sure the actors and Adam. We really love what we do, and so we want to keep bringing you guys movies that you want to see. So if anybody wants to share any final words, I'll let you.
Yeah, pretty much piggyback on what he said. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully we can make more for you. I enjoy doing it.
Yeah, for sure.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Oh
yeah, happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Forgot that's a thing. That's
It is.
in 2 days.
I will say this is from like being a new person to hop on to a group that seems to have worked together a lot. This was such a welcoming, friendly group of people, and I felt very, very comfortable joining this team for this project with everyone there. So thank you guys for making that, such an easy process to just jump in, and thank you all for watching tonight and, learning more about the process.
Yeah, thank you for being awesome. Thanks, everyone. We do have some Trick or Treat merch on sale. So the link is in the description. You can buy some posters, I think we have, for Trick or Treat 1 and 2, and some Thinking Art t-shirts if you want to support some Thinking Art gear. But that is going to do it, guys. Thanks for joining us. And I have no idea when we'll see you again on one of these live streams, because everyone's schedule's crazy. But thank you all for watching, and hopefully we'll see you back for Trick or Treat 3.
Stay Praggers.
and always be sushi.
Have a good one, everybody.